Hey there, FPV pilots. Smooth virus, call sign virus. I'm gonna go real quick over the build of my C1 Chaser here. This is just something I need to kind of go over as part of my review of this plane. Once again, I'm really happy with this wing. I think it's just an awesome plane. There's a lot of things I really like about the design. For one thing, and I haven't noticed on the FX61, but on the Wing Z84, the servos, the control rods are actually on the bottom of the wing. And for the C1 Chaser, they put them on the top, and that really is the best place for them, because I did kind of go long on a landing of this plane a couple weeks ago, and I skidded across my buddy's driveway. So these linkages would have got all torn up had they been on the bottom of the wing. But since they're on top, they're absolutely undamaged and nothing is wrong. So that's a really nice design decision, I think, on this wing. So, okay, let's just go over real quick. I did go with a 433 megahertz easy UHF control system on this plane, along with 1.2 gigahertz for video. I think this is a 200 milliwatt video transmitter. I did take a little heat sink off of an old video card and just super glued it to the casing of the video transmitter. We're using one of the Dragon Link dipole video antennas for my video link. We also have a dipole antenna for the 433 megahertz control link, and I embedded that in the wing. Propeller, I went with a folding prop. Not cheap, but it is effective. So it folds back on landing, so can't really break it. A little yoke. This is a Sunny Sky X2212 1250 kV motor. So it's similar to the motor that a lot of people put in the Mini Talon, but the can is a little shorter, so this is a little bit lighter. So I don't have to put a whole lot of weight in the nose to balance the wing out. So let's go ahead and open her up. Now what I did here was I took the GPS antenna off of my Vector and actually just taped it to the top of the hatch. So we're using a full-size Vector here. This actually came out of my old Sky Mule. And you'll notice I'm using some of these 3D printed parts. These are available on RC Groups from a poster named Mark Q. He's kind of a real big on the Mini Talon, but he's got some parts for the C1 Chaser as well. So I'm using a deck to mount the Vector on that came from Mark Q. And also this prop stopper that I'm using is another one of his little designs. Battery just goes right in here. I've put a strap in there to hold it down. Eagle Tree Vector, current sensor with XT60 connectors. Now, I went with the Nano Easy UHF receiver. You can see it right here, really tiny. I really like this, and they're only like $30 for one of these receivers, which is a third of the price of some of the big UHF receivers. So that works out nice, and it's tiny and it's light. So it works out real good for this build. I did try to make a little bit neater out of this kind of spaghetti mess back here. We are using a Cobra 40 amp ESC, which is the same as I use in all my Mini Talon builds. And there is a Runcam Mini Swift kind of embedded in the nose here. I went with the Fpv Nose. I was a little bit worried about putting a camera right in the front of the plane, like I could smack stuff. Really the worst I've had happen is just a bunch of grass, kind of wet grass, kind of hits the camera lens and then gets it dirty, but I have some cleaning cloths and I can just clean it off. So far it's been fine. I think, you know, where I fly here on the East Coast, we're usually landing in the grass. That's okay. For those of you that are in drier places like the Southwest United States, we're going to be landing in rocks. Yeah, that might not be an optimal solution. It might be better to put the camera up here somewhere where it's more protected, but for where I fly, it's fine. That's pretty much it. As far as putting the plane together, I mean, anybody who's built a wing knows it's a real simple build. There's not really much to it. I did kind of go with my own custom coloring scheme here, sort of modeled on the old Robotech Skull Squadron slash United States Navy VF-84 Jolly Rogers. So I guess I'm dating myself there a bit as a Gen Xer, but I did go with the Emax Metal Gear servos. I use those servos in all my builds lately. Works out really well. And these stripes that I put on the bottom of the wing, I do that on all my builds. It's actually just a black Sharpie marker, and then I laminate over it, and it'll never come off. So that's pretty much it. It's a fairly simple build, and I'm really happy with this model. I've hit 95 miles an hour with it. It is pretty quick. At some point, I'm gonna get some mounting hardware to mount an HD camera. And I did put the little plywood piece that comes with the kit in the hatch there, so we can mount that up. And I'll put a Runcam HD2 up here on top, so we get some HD video. The only thing I don't like is it's going to slow it down a little bit. It's going to add drag, but I guess we'll get to see how much. And but I do really enjoy flying this. It's a nice flyer. It's really super stable, and it's fast. So there you go. If you're looking to put together a C1 Chaser, that's my build. Alright guys, you have a good one, and Smooth Virus signing out.